Check 1, 2.
Well, hello there, boyfriend. How are you this fine day?
I'm really good.
Is it working?
Yes.
Excellent. Let's not touch shit.
I'm afraid to ask, but I have a great question.
I don't even know what I was going to say. I'm so disturbed right now. It's a hotel.
Is it? Would you like to do a podcast, my love?
I mean, I'm like so, yeah.
This is Afraid to Ask. And we're interrupting Erika's Instagram time.
It was a really cool video.
It was a really cool video. I think you and I use social media in almost the healthiest way you can possibly use it. My Instagram is filled with motivational stuff. It's filled with, girls with huge tits. It's got a lot of stuff that gives me motivation and drive. Yeah, exactly. So this is Afraid to Ask. And there's a bunch of different ways that we could go here.
Oh.
So should I just start and play? We've been getting a lot of messages on SpeakPipe. That's how we get messages here.
SpeakPipe.
I'm Afraid to Ask.
I don't know why I said it like that, but
should I just randomly play one and we'll just get into
it? Is
it?
that a sexual innuendo?
It's not. Every time this comes up, you try to bring me over to your side.
To be
it feels
sexual.
like it's. I think
What's
it's a
the
pipe. I think it's like on a playground where you're talking to one side and it comes out the other side.
Oh, really? You go from me saying sexual to you going to like a kid's playground.
That's what I think it is.
Thanks.
All right. I'm going to go right to I like to say go to the phones because that's what we used to say on the radio.
Why don't you go to the pipe?
No.
Hi, this is Nick from Boise, Idaho, also known as King of the Porcelain's Throne. And can I say something?
Sure.
Why is it that no matter what, when I go into the bathroom to sit down, I'm going to be in there for at least 20 minutes? Even when I'm done with my business, I feel like the process is not fulfilled unless I sit there and relax. So, Dr. Erika, Jamie, can you please explain this to me? And also, Jamie, thanks for always saying what the rest of us are thinking.
You're welcome, Nick from Boise. I have so many thoughts right now because we've talked about it on the show that we don't talk about going to the bathroom very much and we have codes. Just this morning, I said to you, I got to go make a phone call. Which is I think it's a nice relationship buffer to not talk about bodily fluids. We think it preserves intimacy. And I went and I used the bath. And now the only thing that sucks is if I have to make a phone call, I'll go to Eric. I'll go, hey, I need to take a really important shit.
I was just going to say, when you're having like stomach pain or you're like, ooh, this one's going to be a conference call.
Yeah. Yeah. There's nothing to say though.
VP's coming in on this one. It's going to be long talk.
This is going to be big. We want everyone on this one. We want everybody on this call. So I went upstairs to make a phone call, and this has always been a thing. I don't know. I don't know. What is Nick asking? Because I feel like I went up there, I came back down, and you go, I thought you were going to make a phone call, and I go, oh, I'm done. Because it took me about 1 minute.
I didn't even realize you were gone.
I know.
I was like, I don't even know what I was doing. So yeah, maybe.
Yeah. When I use the restroom, it's like you go in, you do it, you clean up. I've been in airport I don't know if this is what Nick is saying, but I've been in airport bathrooms before. One yesterday where I felt like a guy was like, there was two guys having a wrestling match, just like noises, like, come on, get in there. And I just like
the other guy on, like, you've got this, keep going.
You're like coaxing something. I feel like it's like in all seriousness, I feel like it's a struggle. I feel like the bathroom is a struggle. Nick's saying something different. Sometimes people go to the bathroom. Why do you think sometimes people take a long time in the bathroom?
Like the real reason or the medical reason? I think there's two reasons. Well, the medical reason is tenesmus, which is basically like you're straining to have a bowel movement. Like it hurts.
Yeah.
Like painful defecation. You're really straining to get it out. Or that sensation also, it means of like you've completely defecated, but you feel like you still have to take a poop.
Oh.
So people are in the bath.
That's the worst.
Why did you look at me like I know that one?
That's the absolute worst.
Ew.
It's the worst possible thing.
Well, maybe you need someone to be next to you to coax it out.
I don't have that problem.
So, actually, we know that Americans have a horrible diet overall. Low exercise regime.
I read that in the in the journal of Look Around.
No.
Yeah.
I'm not. fat
airport.
shaming. This is what drives me nuts.
No,
about
I'm
a
saying
doctor.
bad foods. I'm not talking
Obese
about
people.
weight. I'm saying
Oh.
like, yeah.
Oh, I went there. No, I feel like people don't talk about it because they don't want to hear it. But like, we have such an unhealthy, preservative enriched diet.
So you're saying longer time.
Notice I said
bathroom.
preservative enriched. Like, I feel like they pump it full of preservatives
Sure they do.
unnecessarily. Well, so people have terrible GI health. So a lot of patients struggle with like bowel movements.
Are you saying
So it
that
takes a long time to poop because they have such an unhealthy, low fiber diet. Exercise increases blood flow and oxygen everywhere, helps with bowel stimulation, helps with more regularity. So if you're stagnant and you have poor diet, you're going to be in the bathroom for a long time. But he said something different.
He did. So you're saying I'm doing okay? Maybe my diet's pretty good because I'm in and out? Good sign?
Yeah, you should never have to strain. You want your poop to come out and be curved. Like, you want it to be like a C or an S shape, and you don't want it to like be floating and like greasy.
Yeah.
Like a nice kerplunk is okay.
I got a double kerplunk today. And I feel like I would equate if we're using the phone call.
This has really gone farther than
It
we've
has.
ever
We
discussed.
shouldn't have done this. But I feel like my phone call is like, hey, just calling someone real quick.
What's a double kerplunk?
I don't even want to. I'm sorry I said that.
Did you just coax out the second half?
It was one followed by another. Like when you see a
stop.
bear in the wild and you're like, oh, it's a cub.
Ew! Oh my gosh!
I didn't even see that.
How did you just insulted a bear cub?
But I think
Like,
my calls are like, hey, you got a second? Hang up. Some people, they're on hold with American Airlines.
okay.
During the holiday season.
So that's why I said, do you want like the other answer or the medical one? I think a lot of people, me included, if you want personal space, you go to work and you're like, I'm going to go to the bathroom. Your boss isn't going to be like listening in. If you want to make a phone call or you want to go on an Instagram for 5 minutes, you sit in there and maybe you don't even have to pee, but you go in there for a break. I feel like guys notoriously do it way more than girls though. Like if they do poop, they stay in there. They don't even flush the toilet. They just sit in their filth. Like half hour goes by.
You're saying it's
and then-
not medical. It's shirking responsibility. Is
I
that
think
a word?
so.
Shirking?
It's trying to get personal time, right? Say you have kids and they won't leave you alone. So you say, well, I have to go poop. Hopefully they'll leave you alone. They
Yep.
often won't. You lock the door.
But it's a
you
great
grab
excuse.
your phone, you send a couple emails. No one wants to be around that. So that gives them time. But what I don't understand is the guys who do poop
Yeah.
and then stay there and smell it and they're fine with it, playing on their phone. What are you doing for 20 minutes?
You can't flush the
while you're
toilet though.
smelling all of it. Like, isn't that disgusting?
Yeah, but you know why you can't flush it? Because everyone out here knows you're done. They go, where's
So you
Dad?
just
Is he
sit there
coming
in
out
your
here?
own bear cub filth.
Yeah, but I think you're right. I think it's the craziness of the world, and it gives you a breather at a time when no one's gonna like barge in the bathroom. Whereas if you're doing anything else, somebody might come in. So Nick, I think you need some personal time. Is what the answer is. I think you're feeling that is a moment where you're getting that breather.
Yeah.
And you're taking that time to yourself, and I don't think there's anything wrong with it.
Oh, I've definitely lied and said I had to go take a huge dump. You know, one of the best things to get out of work? Like if you're like, I don't want to be here today.
Yeah.
If you're like, oh, I feel like I'm going to throw up. They'll be like, oh, did you eat something bad? Are you
Right.
pregnant? Go back to work. I learned the more gruesome you are with your description, the quicker your boss is to leave you alone.
They don't want any more details.
So I'm like, you know what? I just like blew ass.
Oh, jeez.
It's dripping everywhere. I gotta go home.
God, Erika.
And then they're like, oh, go. Because it's so embarrassing. No one would
Yeah.
actually admit that, just to lie about
Now
it.
I have a question.
It
Yes, you
gets
got
you
the
out
day
of work.
off. Yes, you got the day off, but now people throw up when they see you.
Nah,
Okay.
low price to pay.
So next question.
Hey, Jamie and Dr. Erika, this is Tommy. I'm calling from Greenville, South Carolina, and I have a question. It's related to the Olympics. You know how they just last week they lifted the intimacy ban on athletes during the Olympics? First of all, how would they even enforce that? I don't know how they do that. But my question actually is involved with their performance. So if athletes are having sex, is that going to impact their performance when it comes time to compete in their athletic events? I've heard arguments on both sides, and I was just wondering if that's a myth or not. Love to know your opinion. Thanks.
Okay, I love this question.
Yeah.
No, for reals. Like, because
Yep.
athletic performance tied to sexual activity is such a hot topic. Like, truly. Because you'll have people split on both ways. But in general, the doctor answer. Oh, what? Did you want to say something?
No, I'm very curious because, well, go ahead.
You go ahead and you tell me what you think, and then I'll tell you the answer.
Please don't lose your train of thought.
I got the train. I got all the bear cubs lined up.
Well, I was just thinking, when you're a boxer or a fighter, even when I was doing my amateurish little wrestling kind of stuff or jujitsu, no sex day of. They say you need that energy.
Was that my choice or because no one wanted to have sex?
No, I mean, it's like you're not, even if you have a girlfriend or something, you're not, oh, you mean with me? Yes. Son of a bitch. Missed that one. But
the day of, you said.
I think day of. And then you even know, I don't want to get personal, I have a stand-up comedy rule.
Yes, you have a very strict rule.
I do. 4 hours before getting on stage. No shenanigans. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's weird sharing that rule with someone else. It used to be just a rule I had with myself.
Yeah. Well, give your hands a break.
So why do that? It's a real thing. I feel like it affects
well, we've
energy,
talked about this, yes.
But what
we've
is
talked about this before.
Don't lose your thought. Please tell me.
I'm not losing my thought, but we've talked about this before in general. It's interesting that men after sex usually get tired.
Yeah.
Women after sex, a lot of them surveyed actually have more energy.
Yeah.
They don't want to go straight to bed. They're wide awake. So with athletes, I think the best thing is cardiovascular activity with sex is fantastic.
Sure.
It gets your heart racing, your blood flowing, your oxygen. So in essence, you're doing another activity for a star performer. They're just getting their heart rate up again. It's like they're doing a quick workout.
But what if I have a coach? Let me push back a little bit. I'm in the Olympics. I'm not just going to some track meet. I'm in the Olympics. I have a coach. This is my whole life. All of our exercises, we go to we got the CO2 max. We got you run at this man for this to warm up, whatever. You can't look at sex. We don't know. There's so many parameters for sex. How long is it? What if the girl's really big and you're having sex for a long time?
What if hold on.
You are
because you're not attracted to her?
Just maybe it lasts longer. I have no idea. And I'm just saying it's like it's an unscientific exercise that might cause you to possibly overtrain before your event. That's not part of, unless you're telling the trainer, I might have sex for 20 minutes. I feel like it's a non-exact. I feel like
I think you're wrong because you're having Olympic City has nothing but elite athletes. So everyone's going to be in incredible overall peak physical shape.
But you don't think they have these regimens?
Beautiful bodies. Well,
of course they're beautiful.
So you just said a bigger girl I couldn't.
A spectator.
No, we're talking about athletes having sex with other athletes. You're not just hooking up with a random spectator.
Okay.
It's like in the hotels where they all share it.
Athletes having sex with other athletes. I'm still saying there's too many variables.
Okay.
We got these guys hooked up maybe they're on a treadmill. They got nodes hooked up. This is a very random. What if we go too hard and we're tired for our event because it wasn't.
Well, I agree. No sexual activity at least a few hours prior to an event would probably be the most favorable thing to do because you will be exhausted. You will have expended a lot of energy. It's caloric expenditure, so you're going to be fatigued. You can get muscle cramps. You can get dehydration. You're going to have to hydrate and then prepare for the event. So I would absolutely say you should avoid it right before or at least a few hours before. But here's the other thing.
Yeah.
What happens when you tell people they can't do something?
They, I would say they normally.
Answer.
Wait, but they're telling them they can. So you're saying now they won't. Right?
What if you just say you can't have sex to all of these athletes?
Yeah. Listen,
what are they going to want to do?
Erika, no means no. When someone tells me I can't have sex, I do what they want. Well, they're telling them they can have sex.
Now they are, but there was a ban.
Right.
So my point was when the ban was in place, this is why I honestly think it was probably lifted. One, it's a ridiculous rule. You're an adult. If you want to have sex, have sex. But what do you think is going on in their minds, right? They're training mentally just as much as they are physically. So if you see someone and you're like, oh, I want to hook up with them, and they look at you and they're like, I want to hook up with you too, but we can't? Mm-hmm. Are you focused on swimming 100 meters? Or are you like, man, I just want to have sex with this person?
It's a great point. So it could be distracted. Either way, we're going to run into some issues.
So I think the biggest thing is if you have a whole regimen of like what you eat and how you mentally like meditate and prepare for your athletic event and how much sleep you have to get the night before and, you know, all of the stuff that you would do, add sex to that regimen. And up until that point, do whatever you want.
I totally agree with you. I'm just saying I don't know how, if you had a girlfriend or something, I could see we schedule it, but I'm just wondering, random hookup, how do we calculate? Maybe they should only be allowed to do it after their event or like 2 days before. Can we tell you something?
Shouldn't be just after, because then again, you're mentally, if you're super distracted on the other person, you might get mind fucked because you couldn't actually.
Do you know 8 years ago, they wouldn't even let you mind fuck? That was also lifted. Everything you're saying is true, but you know who would vehemently disagree with you? Everything you're saying is 100% true, but in the moment, you know who might disagree? My dick. Like, your dick has a mind of its own, and it doesn't listen, and it's like, we don't care, we'll be fine.
But if you are a regimented athlete, you're going to know a couple hours before your event, you are not going to mess up 4 years of training for a quick hookup.
I don't know.
If you're told you absolutely can't and the person walks in and you're like, it's now or never, then you will. But if you're allowed to do whatever you want before or after, you're an adult.
What Olympic? I know your boyfriend knows nothing about the Olympics. Like, for instance, I don't even know. So is it the Summer Olympics coming up?
Well, the summer is coming up, yes.
So that usually coincides with it. Who do you think?
Where is it going to be? Is it Paris?
Yeah. Did you also hear they're not going to have air conditioning?
Yes, I did see that.
Yeah.
But that's just France being France. When I lived there, they had no air conditioning, and you just had to deal with it. And it was in the summer, and it was over 100 degrees. Yeah, I lived in an attic space that I rented out, and it was extremely hot. The windows were on the ceiling, so you got no airflow. I'm sure they'll take care of the athletes to make sure that they don't overheat.
Yeah, it says they designed the buildings. In their defense, they say they designed the buildings so they'd be comfortable places to live in the summer, even without air conditioning.
Yeah, of course.
That's
you have
what
to have maximal airflow. You don't want to have heat stroke victims for your prize athletes.
Yeah.
You know what I think is very interesting? I watched a documentary, and I can't remember what it was on, but it was about the Olympics, like years and years and years of Olympics, not just one.
Yeah.
But they had this part where they talked about how cities, like how corrupt it is to do the lottery to get the Olympics, right?
Oh, hell yeah.
Right? But like so many people want it. But there was one year where nobody wanted it because it was so expensive to build all this infrastructure.
Yeah.
And some of these third world countries that are like championing for it want to get all these sponsors to come in, and they make all of this money from like tourism.
Sure.
But then they're like, wait a minute, we're going to have these huge like soccer stadiums or whatever next to an impoverished town where people are starving. We have all these people come in, pump it full of money, but then they leave, and we have all of these decrepit, abandoned buildings. So I actually like what Paris did.
What'd they do?
Well, because this is a reusable living space after the games are over, they can actually recycle that and rent it out to anyone in the city.
I got a question for you.
I don't know what they're doing as far as all of the event spaces, though, if they're building things up. But I just think it's interesting how financially motivated or unmotivated,
like the Super Bowl, like everything,
are.
right?
I hate the Super Bowl.
But I mean, like a city that wants the Super Bowl, same kind of thing. You get all the commerce and.
No, but that's different. I said I hate it because I feel like they. Oh, okay. I guess I don't know anything about that. But like, do they? Where is the Super Bowl?
I think they do the same thing.
It's
I think
all
they
over?
petition for it. Yeah.
Oh, but it's already in a stadium that's built, right? They don't build one just for the Super Bowl.
Right.
I feel like that would be wasteful. Well, then I don't hate the Super Bowl. I thought you were saying that they built stuff just for it.
Oh no, just the city vies for the right to have it, so they can have all the people come in. And I know nothing about what do you watch in what is the big summer? Is that like running?
Gymnastics, women's gymnastics.
I'll bet they have the most sex. The legal ones, right? Hottest athlete, I would say. Is this volleyball?
I said gymnastics.
Yeah. Aren't those attractive women?
Why would they be playing volleyball if I just said the word gymnastics?
I was thinking hottest athletes. You got to go volleyball. Have you ever seen a volleyball tournament? I was watching one for an hour once. I go, there's a ball in a net. I don't even realize what's going on.
Did you know some of the players in a certain country refused to wear a bikini bottom and wore shorts like men?
Really? I'd love to see their vagina. Oh, no, they would do what?
Jamie.
I would think they should all take off their bikini bottoms. I'm all for this. I've not heard of this. In full support. They shouldn't have to wear bikini bottoms. That's crazy. I agree with that. Why don't they make the male marathon runners wear a jockstrap? Most attractive male summer event athlete, in your opinion? What do you think? I'll give you some of the events. We got
I don't think gymnasts are the most attractive. I think they're too muscly. Like they're amazing and they're wonderful, and I could never do anything. But you're saying like the most attractive body.
Archery. I'm just reading something.
Lead with like shot put.
Badminton. Did you know badminton is a
Well, okay. So here's the other thing. There's events that I'm just like really like soccer. Mm-hmm. I love soccer more than any other sport. That's the one I played. I'm obsessed with it. World Cup is my thing.
Yeah.
But then it's like Olympics also. Why can't we just opt out and be like, let's just do the World Cup? Why do we also have to do soccer in the Olympics?
Yeah. Did I ever tell you my
Or like, do they do football or
Yeah, they do football.
Well, that's the
also flag football.
That's hilarious.
That's strange, right? And there's shooting, skateboard.
I know the Super Bowl and doesn't include other countries.
Yeah, that's true.
So that's fine, but most countries don't play football. I don't know. I just feel like sometimes it's duplicitous. Okay, but back to your question. The hottest male athlete.
Golfer. Boxer?
No.
Beach volleyball.
Yeah.
Yep. Agree.
You know why? Because they expect them to also be shirtless and pretty much naked.
Yeah.
They know that they're going to be on TV looking like
beach volleyball
whatever.
is
They have to be.
has very little to do with the sport.
I know. And I'd like them to have clothes on. I don't watch Olympics to like get my rocks off.
Did I tell you the thing?
I have a ton of respect for them. Like swimmers
I thought you
wearing
said you
their
have a ton
tiny
of
little
rocks.
things.
Yes.
Makes sense. No, I was going to say that makes
Swimmers,
sense.
hot or not hot? Michael Phelps. Hot guy? They're all in great shape, right? Not a fan. Okay.
No, I'm just saying that makes sense to have limited clothing because they don't want the resistance in the water for speed.
Yeah.
But I don't understand that in most other sports.
Same.
What's the least attractive summer sport?
Table tennis. Imagine those guys wearing bikini bottoms.
Table tennis.
You know what the most if you had to bang someone on the Olympics, you know what the most risky would be? Fencing. You know why? It'd be
don't know what they
it'd
look
be like
like?
Love is Blind.
Because they have.
It'd be like Love is Blind. You go, oh God, I had no idea that guy's a good fencer, but
I like
an
track
eyesore.
and field. I'm saying like watching it. I like watching track and field. I think it's fascinating. But women's gymnastics, I grew up on that. I love that.
weightlifting. You ever get into the weightlifting? I enjoy the weightlifting sometimes. A little wrestling. Did I ever tell you my badminton thing that happened with my son? He's a freshman playing on the varsity basketball team. I was very proud as his dad.
That's great.
And it's the team at the school, right? Like it's at his actual school that he goes to. It's a school team. It's not like a extracurricular side, one of those comp teams. This is like the school's basketball team. And it's weird. There's like some sort of disconnect between the communication with like the gym teacher and the basketball team. There's almost like a competitiveness. Sometimes he's like, hey, you missed this math test. And he's like, yeah, the school drove me to a game. Of course I missed math class. There's like a little bit of a communication disconnect. And he went into, we had a parent-teacher conference.
Oh, I'm sure you were nice.
I have trouble in these. I have a lot of trouble. And the guy said, I shouldn't say my son's name, right? He said, my son, he goes, I just feel like he's not taking badminton as serious as he feels like he should. And I'm like, okay. And I'm trying to be, this guy's like probably, it's a tough job he does. He's a gym teacher. Props to him. So I'm giving him like and then he goes, and I'm like, yeah, but I go, my son's like practicing hours and hours a day. Like, what is he being disrespectful? And he goes, no. He just doesn't seem like he's focused. And I'm like, okay, I'll talk to him. And he goes, listen, man, do you want your son to be at a family gathering? Say it's 4th of July. And they go, we're getting a badminton game together. And he can't play. He's out there. He doesn't know what he's doing.
You?
Yeah. And I go, not for nothing. I go, but I think that the reason we choose badminton at the 4th of July at the party is because everyone can play and there's no specialized training required to play badminton. That's why the little thing floats down. Not like tennis where it can go whizzing by. It's the little birdie. It like floats down. And I go, my aunt is as good as me at badminton. That's the kind of sport this is. I think we're going to be okay.
I'm sure that went over well.
Yeah, and then he, I forgot what happened after that, but everything's fine. But I just thought it was, it's funny when rules. I want this guy. He should be respected. He should be. But I feel like if you go, oh man, this kid's practicing like so much. Wow, if he even gives it a little bit of effort. I know he played 2 hours last night. Like that's pretty cool. If it was an attitude problem, I would be. I have a lot.
Yeah.
Do you have trouble? Do you have trouble like watching I would have trouble like if you think about when you're a kid and there's like a teacher issue with like you and the teacher, and when you went home to your parents and you talked to them. I felt like my parents were always on the teacher side. They were always on the school side. You shouldn't have done that. I find myself, especially with like, I know I have good kids. I find myself on their side. Like I go, man, I feel like.
Have you ever done the like, okay, yes, I'm really sorry, and then you walk in the car and you high five your kid and you're like, yeah, they were wrong.
That's kind of what I did. It's kind of the as good as it gets move, where DiCaprio pretends to be he impersonates the substitute teacher, and his dad's like, I can't believe he would do that. And then on the way out, he's like, he's psyched for him. That's the wrong movie.
Yeah.
Catch Me If You Can. As good as it gets.
It's like
I'm terrible at movie stuff. Great answers though. I think I don't know, the Olympics thing, I like your answer. I think there's no way to really tell. I predict, because of what you said about men and women, that this year's Summer Olympics, all the men are going to be very sleepy. I think some of the marathon runners might take a nap at some point, laying on the beach from all the sex. Women, lots of energy, right? And I feel like the country that gets the gold medal is going to be the country with the most losers. You know why? They're home. They're not having sex. They're just focused on winning.
Well, then maybe it was a strategic move by France.
So that France could...
Maybe France like quietly told all their players like, the ban is lifted for everyone but you.
These isn't it crazy that you could be? You ready for one? Isn't it crazy that we could be at a bar, and you go like, "Oh, what do you do for work?" And I go, "You know what? Right now I'm an Olympic athlete." And you're like, "Shit, that's amazing." And you're like, "What kind?" And I go,
Ping pong.
"Squash."
What's the worst Summer Olympic sport?
Well,
Least amount of talent.
I have respect for everybody, but sailing is one.
Sailing, that's hard.
It's hard, but how do you watch?
I don't know how to sail.
Don't they just all sail
not
away?
Watch.
You go where'd they go?
What one do you think is like so easy? Like it shouldn't be like a worldwide competition.
I would say
Badminton.
I would say badminton, because you know what? Do you know that it's gonna sound like a bit, I swear to God it's true.
What?
When I was so good at table tennis when I was in high school that I tried to find a college that had table tennis as a possible. I wanted to be on the table tennis team. And then I lost all ability. I tried to play again recently and it's gone. It's just like it just goes away. Well, anyway, I'm looking forward to the canoe sprint this year.
That's not one.
And
is that really one?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. There's a sport called baseball, softball. Make up your mind, motherfuckers. Which is it? Basketball is going to be fun this year.
That's one that I don't like. Why can't we do tournaments with? Let's do a World Cup, but for basketball.
I want to see all the stars playing together. It's really fun. You know? Get all the stars from the teams together, like the all-star team.
I know, but I'm saying let's do like a World Cup for it. Like, wouldn't it be fun? Like, in a couple of months, we have the World Cup of basketball, and then a few months later, the World Cup of soccer, and then a few months later, the World Cup of, I don't know.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't
tennis.
know.
Like,
I'm being very quiet because I don't understand what's happening. You mean that would be like eat someone from the world?
I don't understand why tennis. We have Wimbledon. We have all of these.
But what's the Olympics then? If
why
not,
do we have to have that as well?
It's a bunch of World Cups, right? What's
That's
the difference?
What I'm saying. So why can't we just do one? Why can't we have soccer just in the World Cup and not also in the Olympics? Why do you got to do it twice?
I imagine it has something to do with money at the end of the day.
I don't know.
Coming up on the next episode of Afraid to Ask. I had one time, I told you, and I think you told me this happened to you once. I had gotten in very good shape. I was just but really doing a lot of weightlifting. Like not as much Peloton. I was just trying to get jacked for a while. I don't know why. And I went in there and that
for the
thing.
ladies.
For the ladies. More for myself, honestly, and some of the other guys at the gym.
For the dudes.
For the dudes.
For the dudes.
And I went in there and they told me I was obese because of my BMI.
Oh, yeah.
Body mass index was...
I did that once to somebody and I felt so stupid.
You did? You know what I did? I want to swear I was so mad. It made me so mad because I was working so hard that the lady comes in and she goes, "The doctor's going to put you on a weight loss program." I go, "What are you talking about?" I go, I am on I've never been in better shape. Like, I wasn't ripped, but I was like 8-9% body fat.
Yeah.
And he came in, he was like, buddy, we could all stand to lose a couple pounds. And I flexed my
Did you
abs
rip
for
your
him.
shirt off?
I did.
And you were like,
I go look at my, I go look at my abs. And
so that happened to me once, and I was so mortified.
He goes, I'm sorry, I'm the one that needs to lose weight. That's what he said.
I've said that to people too.